Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go road racing here in both the Xfinity Series as well as the Cup Series at Watkins Glen. Very excited for this episode. Every time we come to Watkins Glen, no matter what the series is, we know we're going to be a factor for the victory. So very excited to get this one underway. I do have actually a couple special paint schemes for this episode coming your guys' way with myself as well as our Hendrick Motorsports teammate Kyle Larson. So stay tuned in a few minutes for those. But we come through here into the Xfinity Series with Paul Menard behind the wheel as usual. You see Timmy Hill actually looking a little bit slow today. In the next episode, I should have that target paint scheme. I didn't quite have enough time to get it in for this episode, so it should be on his car in the next one or the one after now as we were underway here at Watkins Glen with Menard behind the wheel. And he had a very strong qualifying effort. On the front row, though, was Alex LeBay as well as Sam Mayer. And they were both looking strong, but it was actually Sam Mayer who would take the lead out of turns 1 and already was opening up a gap as we went down into the S's here as Menard runs in the 4th position. But there you see Sam Mayer already opening up quite the gap there to 2nd place as Menard now looks up the right hand side of Christian Eckes in the 20, completes the pass there on Eckes and moves up into P3 already here on this opening lap of Watkins Glen as he was trying to close in on the back of Alex LeBay there as they went down into the bus stop. Menard really wasn't wasting any time here as he would now get to the right-hand side here as they went down into the carousel of LeBay, and sure enough, he would move up into the runner-up position here. But unfortunately, that was pretty much it for the rest of the race. Menard could not run down Sam Mayer, but no one else had anything for Paul for 2nd place. So he just ran 2nd place for the rest of the race here as he came through out of that penultimate corner down towards the final turn here. And it is going to be Sam Mayer for the first time this season coming through to win here at Watkins Glen as Paul Menard is going to come through to finish runner-up in 2nd place here. So overall, I mean, a good effort, of course, for our team now as we get that runner-up spot. Would have been nice if we could have got that win, but that puts Sam Mayer in the playoffs. And now there's only going to be one spot left open in the playoffs for a driver on points. So it's going to get very interesting to see what happens here throughout the rest of this regular season. So we come through now towards the Cup Series event. There's you also saw Riley Herbst actually at the very bottom of the field. A very rough one for him as Quinn Helf is P4 in the standings and the only driver in on points right now in that playoff grid. So we, like I said, come through into the Cup Series weekend. And there you see the special paint scheme we have on the car. It is a King Kong versus Godzilla inspired race here between myself and our Hendrick Motorsports teammate Kyle Larson. I was running a Godzilla car. He is running a King Kong car. So you're going to see that throughout the race and see maybe who comes out on top here between myself and Larson. These schemes were made by Vixen. I'll show you guys the link to his Twitter in the description as well. So very good job he did with these paint schemes. You'll get a better look at them here in just a few moments. But qualifying comes through to end here with a 108.537 for myself, and that puts us P5 for the Go Bowling at the Glen. So a very strong qualifying effort. Definitely made a few mistakes, so could have maybe got maybe 4th, maybe 3rd out of it. Kyle Larson though in P7 is Brad Keselowski and Harrison Burton are on the front row here as we look at the rest of the orders. Eric Jones down there in P20, Zane Smith down in P27, and to round out the field, we got Anthony Alfredo as well as Chris Buescher. Alright boys, honestly I think we can go back-to-back today. I mean, we won at Michigan when we shouldn't have, and then I think we can win here today, so hopefully we can have a strong run and be there at the end. There you hear myself on the radio as we're going to get ready to go green here at the Go Bowling at the Glen. There you kind of get a glimpse of that Kyle Larson King Kong paint scheme as, like I said, we got this Godzilla paint scheme ready to represent here on the track. As I remember way back in like 2016, Jimmy Johnson, Dale Jr. did like a Batman versus Superman movie-inspired paint scheme race at Auto Club. So Vixen kind of wanted to get me to do something like this for Watkins Glen. Here we are doing it here today. Now, as we are getting ready, though, to take the green flag behind our arrival of Joey Logano as a green flag is that we are underway here at Watkins Glen for the 2nd road course race of the season. There is Brad Keselowski leads the way down into turns 1 side by side with Harrison Burton. Now 4 wins on the season for Harrison Burton, only 1 for Brad Keselowski here as we exit turns 1. Wasn't the greatest first turn for myself, but Harrison Burton right off the bat is actually going to be able to take that lead from Brad Keselowski there as we come through the S's now behind this number 9 car of Chase Elliott. Still at least about side by side up there for a brief moment now as Burton continues to try and hold off Keselowski for that front position as I'm kind of backing out of it a little bit, just playing it safe here as we go down into the bus stop. But Keselowski clears Burton into the bus stop, so he takes the lead back as Larson in that King Kong paint scheme right behind myself right now as we go down into the carousel. So he runs P7, we run in P6 here as we come through now trying to get up to P5 as we're going to look to that left hand side of Kevin Harvick. clearly we have a lot of speed in this car. We just blew the doors off of the 4 of Kevin Harvick here as we go down towards this penultimate corner. So now into the top 5 as Keselowski appears to be opening up a gap to second place with Burton. Elliott has passed the 22 of Joey Logano there for that 3rd position. As you guys obviously know, Joey Logano, a rival of ours. We've got to be very careful around him as Kyle Larson behind us is side by side with Harvick for that 6th spot. But we came through now into the bus stop now a lap later on lap 2. Lost a little bit of ground to the 22 of Joey Logano. Now I was actually making a mistake, overcranked, and actually around we go here into the carousel. We spin it out and we overcorrect, hit the wall now, and that puts a bunch of damage on the front end of the car. And out of nowhere, I just make a silly mistake and we have a bunch of damage on the car. I got a pit, boys. I just destroyed the front end. There you hear myself on the radio. We have to pit this very lap because this car, the front end is just absolutely destroyed. We got engine damage from it. We did not DNF, thankfully, but you can definitely tell we are down on horsepower. So we're just going to bring it into the pit lane this very lap here because we're going to be going to the back anyways, no matter what now. Just a silly mistake there on myself going for too much out of that bus stop. And we almost just did kind of like a 360 and keep on going, but then I had the wheel kind of pulled to the left already and it just hooked me into that guardrail now as we actually get into the pit lane but end up speeding into the pit lane to make matters worse for myself here. But fortunately it's a road course, so we end up not going a lap down. We had to repair the car, of course, serve the penalty, and it was actually a very close call. Keselowski was heading down towards turns 1 right now as I'm just coming out of the pit lane, so a close call, but fortunately it being a road course with relaxed yellow flags on, of course, that meant no caution came out now. As you can see me kind of swerving down the straightaway a little bit. The car felt really weird for some reason after we had come back onto the track, and I was just trying to get the car driving right for me here now as we come through out of that final corner. Brad Keselowski was coming through behind us to win stage 1 as we're just starting now the final lap of the stage, but once 10th place crosses the line, stage 1 will come to an end. So definitely not what I expected here from stage 1 as it was looking good. We were moving our way through traffic. And now here we are in last place as sure enough 10th place crosses the line, and P40 it is for us here in stage 1. So now we got a lot of work to do if we're going to be able to work our way back towards the front of this pack and contend for our 6th race victory of the season. So we are actually just going to come into the pit lane here. I decided, you know what, we're still at the back. We might as well put 4 fresh tires on the car. But there you see rounding out the top 10 was Austin Cindric. Sheldon Creed up there in P6. So Creed having a very strong effort now as we will get ready to go green for the start of the 2nd stage here at Watkins Glen. So far, definitely not what we expected from Watkins Glen now as the green flag is now back out here. Keselowski leads the way in for the start of stage 2. We'll go through into the AM segment here at Watkins Glen. The AM segment there, after just 1 lap, we managed to go from 40th place up to P23 into turns 1, so a tremendous comeback already it has been in stage 2, as now we continue on the move down the straightaway towards the bus stop, making it 3 wide for a moment there, with the 6 of Gilliland as well as the 23 of Bubba Wallace now, as we continue on our way, getting to the inside of Ryan Preece, as well as Eric Jones and the McLaren there up the right hand side, 3 wide through the carousel, and we were now up inside the top 20, up to P19, we got to the back of CJ McLaughlin, a brand new paint scheme on that car, once again made by Vixen, who made these same cars for myself here in today's episode, as well as Kyle Larson. So we now moved up to P18 and just continued on our way now, only 2 laps to go. As you guys know, stage 1 and 2 very short at every road course on the schedule. We passed Noah Gregson, we look to the left of Cole Custer, make a very easy pass on him, lunge to the right hand side of Matt Benedetto as we go down towards that bus stop. Brandon Jones running P14, setting himself up nicely for that third and final stage to potentially get some crucial points to make it back into the top 30 in points and put himself in the playoffs after winning that race earlier this season on field strategy at Phoenix Raceway. So we passed Jones though, and easily passed our other teammate of Alex Bowman. He's definitely the most struggling HMS car here today at Watkins Glen. Now as we came through to start the final lap. Now P13 as we go down into turns 1 and already running down the 20 of Christopher Bell. I might actually have to increase his road course rating based off of what he did at the Daytona road course, but we'll definitely need a few more road courses to really get an idea of how good he is, in my opinion, at road course racing. So I'll hold off on that rating adjustment now as we come through, though, passing the 88 nearly of William Byron, but I have to get out of the throttle there. I went a little bit wide now as we go down towards this bus stop, up towards P11 side by side with an affiliate teammate there, but sure enough, as we come through out of that bus stop, we clear William Byron from 40th to 11th to potentially 10th here on the final lap of stage 2. Now as Harrison Burton leads away into the final corner of stage 2, and sure enough, we clear Kevin Harvick, move up into that 10th position now as we go down towards that penultimate corner. Harrison Burton already coming through to cross the line to win stage 2. A tremendous showing so far from the Joe Gibbs Racing driver, who has been dominating at Joe Gibbs Racing this season in the wins column, not in the points column, but definitely in the wins column here as we come through out of the final turn. It is going to be a P10 finish in stage 2 for us, so a great comeback by gaining 30 spots in just 4 laps here at Watkins Glen. Definitely showing what we are capable of doing here with this 24 car today. Now, as I definitely did not expect to actually get this far throughout the field. Obviously, there's not going to be a lot of time left in this third and final stage, but we will be coming into the pit lane here for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 fresh tires and get ready to take the green flag for the third and final stage. You see Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney having rough days, Justin Haley, Daniel Suarez out down there, Tyler Reddick as well. There might be an announcement coming up about Tyler Reddick potentially in the next episode, by the way, now, so stay tuned for that as we gain 1 spot, overtaking Derek Kraus there on the pit lane. So moving up to P9 for the restart here as the third and final stage is underway at Watkins Glen, and it only leaves us 10 laps to go there as you got Austin Cindric up here in the mix, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Sheldon Creed still having a good run now as Denny Hamlin is just in front of us here as we will already clear that 33 of Cindric, move up into P8 here as we go down towards the S's. Obviously, I don't want to waste a lot of time here. I know how fast that 19 of Harrison Burton is, and I know how fast we are, so I definitely want to get through this traffic as quick as we can to maybe have a chance to go for this race of victory, because if we waste too much time, we're going to have to rely on a caution to get us into the mix for the race of victory, and obviously we haven't had a caution come out here yet in this race. Now as we're right on the back of Kyle Larson there, now it is a showdown between the King Kong paint scheme as well as the Godzilla paint scheme as we're going to be side by side through the center of that carousel, and on the exit of the corner we're going to have that momentum still side by side down the straightaway here with Kyle Larson, Creed up there in front of us behind that number 22 of Joey Logano. Now as we're going to be side by side again into that penultimate corner, but right here is where the opportunity is going to rise for myself to clear that 5 of Kyle Larson now as he's under attack from Denny Hamlin here as we go down into that final turn. But a very strong first opening lap for us here in this third and final stage, setting us up well for the rest of this race here with 9 laps to go, now up into P6. You do see Harrison Burton has opened up a gap there to second place of Keselowski. 2nd through 5th are all very close together, so we would waste no time once again running these guys down here as we came through to the carousel now on lap 16. We had run down Sheldon Creed, the rookie, as he originally was just going to run part-time in that car, but now actually they have decided to pretty much keep him full-time in that 37 car for at least this season now, as he's having a career run here today at Watkins Glen as we lunge up that left-hand side of Sheldon Creed and try to take over that 5th position. A little bit of contact there between myself and the 37. Kyle Larson had now run us back down as we were battling it out, but out of that final turn, we will come through to clear the 37 now as there's actually trouble behind us. Todd Gilliland goes spinning into the penultimate corner. Now the green flag will stay on the track as he gets the car back going there, but clearly blowing a tire or something now, as like I said, no caution, so we continue on our way in P5 as I was under attack from Creed into turns 1, but we would get back in front of him after a little bit of contact there under the S's. Very unfortunate, though, for a driver like Todd Gilliland here as we come through, though, now onto lap 17 in towards that final corner, and I was looking in front of me, and of course we had that 22 of Joey Logano, our rival that we were going to have to deal with, as Chase Elliott is trying to get up beside that number 2 car. Brad Keselowski is on right to the back there of the 22. I decide to not really force the issue right here, as I'm just going to stay in behind Logano, but then I actually run into the back of him Realizing the mistake I just made now is we're going to have to pretty much reset that rivalry once again, is actually decided to lunge up the right-hand side of him into the bus stop and trying to gain that 4th spot. I wasn't wasting any time. Rival or not, we have to get a move on with it. We clear Logano. After a little bit of contact, I'm sideways into the carousel now as the 22 punts me into the carousel and moves me out of the groove, so now he gets back clear some more contact with our rival of Logano. I realize this is probably not going to end well between myself and Joey here as we're side by side down towards that penultimate corner. I'm not lifting because we need to get a move on with it and try to run down that 19 of Harrison Burton. Some more contact with Joey here as we go down towards that final turn. He nearly turns us into that final turn now as it just completely messed up the corner, and that allows the 22 to once again attack to the right hand side. Some contact there. He is trying to push me off the track into the grass. I have the wheel fully turned 90 degrees to the right at this point. Here's we go down into turns when I decide right here I'm just going to try and turn the 22. We send him sideways, then I actually miss him, and we nearly put ourselves head on into the safer barrier now. Fortunately that does not happen, but we drop down into P8, and I was not done with Logano at this point. I was very, very aggravated because we had worked so hard to climb our way back forwards, and now he is just creating havoc for us here. So we come through now down the straightaway, and I decide, you know what, I'm just going to get right into the back of him, push him down the straightaway, and try to just send him off into this bus stop here behind Kyle Larson. Nothing really comes out of it now as we're still right on the back of that 22 of Logano now as we go down towards that carousel, and I'm just going to send him right off into the carousel. I just straight up dumped the 22 of Joey Logano. I know that I probably took that one too far, but I was just so aggravated after that, knowing that he was just completely destroying our chances of running down the leader of Harrison Burton. So now we were in P6 kind of settling out here. I realized I was frustrated because I was starting to make some mistakes on the track and we give up a spot to Hamlin, but we would waste no time getting it back now. But I can confirm that incident right there is actually, we have an incident on the track, a big incident actually. The 16, the McLaren, the 99 of Suarez, and the 3 of Austin Dillon, a big crash here. All of a sudden on lap 20, and now Anthony Alfredo piles in, no caution surprisingly now, as Alfredo's now going to reverse onto the track for a second, and now he's going to pull back out and get slammed by the 16 of Haley, who caused the crash in the first place. A bunch of cars involved, and somehow it stays green, and as that was happening, we were now passing that 11 of Denny Hamlin, but I could not believe there was not a caution. That was probably 5-6 cars that all got involved in that crash. That's probably the biggest crash we've had in the career mode in terms of the amount of cars at Watkins Glen at least, so very surprised about that. But I was originally mentioning that incident between myself and Logano is definitely going to have some consequences, and you're going to have to stay tuned for the next episode for that now, as I will have an announcement about that, as we wasted no time though trying to run down these front 5 drivers again, passing Kyle Larson. Now we're going to lunge up that right hand side of Sheldon Creed to the back of Brad Keselowski as we go down into the bus stop. But very unfortunate that crash didn't bring out a caution, because that could have changed everything as we pass Keselowski now for P3 as we go down into that penultimate turn. But Harrison Burton running away with the victory. Chase Elliott was up there in that second position trying to run down that 19 of Harrison Burton, but he was running out of time very quickly now as we were coming through to start the final lap here in Watkins Glen. No caution came out, which was very unfortunate, so obviously we knew our chances of victory had sure enough come to an end here as we were just trying to hold on and bring the car home in P3. Looking back on the race, of course, we had a very interesting one. The very second lap of the race, I decided to wreck myself into the guardrails, so that was very unfortunate, a big setback, and then we rallied back into the top 10 at the end of stage 2, setting us up very nicely for that third and final stage. And then while we met our rival of Joey Logano, I was pushing the issue way too hard with Logano in the first place, but then of course he was not holding back at roughing me up as well, and then I decided to just get rid of him and just send him off into that carousel. And I also tried to wreck him in turns 1, and I failed miserably at that one, but now we still rebound at least to P3, but definitely a missed opportunity at a potential race victory, as Elliott was running down Burton at the very end of this race. Burton was stuck behind a slow car, I believe, of the 16 of Haley, who stayed out on the track for some reason, but Harrison Burton comes through to win in Watkins Glen, and now that once again ties up myself and Harrison for the most wins on the season. We're going back and forth at this point, it seems like, race by race. Elliott second, the closest he's been to a win all season long, and we come through to finish in the third place. So between the battle between myself and Kyle Larson for the Godzilla vs. King Kong movie-inspired paint schemes, well, we were the ones that would come out on top of that battle there after a wild race with a big crash that I really did not expect to see happen there with Alfredo, the 16, the 99 of Suarez, and then we had the 3 of Austin Dillon involved. I think John Hunter Nemechek got a piece of it there as you see the finishing order on your screen. Harrison Burton down there in P31, or sorry, not Harrison Burton, Chase Briscoe, and then Tyler Reddick down there in like 33rd, so very rough days for those drivers. Of course, Briscoe already locked into the playoffs here, and so he will be perfectly fine now as we continue to have a huge lead in the regular season standings, pretty much locked up the regular season championship at this point now. I think this will be our 3rd regular season championship as well. Only 3 races remain here in the regular season, it looks like, or maybe 2 or something like that. I know we have Dover coming up in the next episode now, and then we will have Daytona, the regular season finale. Very excited for that one. Hopefully no surprise winners, by the way, in that one now, as you see the playoff grids on your screen. The Truck Series was looking the same, of course, because we didn't have one this episode, but here you see the Xfinity grid now as Sam Mayer puts himself in the playoffs. Quinn Helft, the only driver on the inside with points, and he's 4th in the points, and if we have another surprise winner, he could be eliminated now, as he's still, like I said, 4th in the points, but could find himself on the outside looking in as you see the Cup Series grid. Cindric is now only 14 points below Ryan Blaney, and 36 out is Custer, so it's not over yet for that last spot in the playoffs. Now, as Blaney could have quite the big choke right there with 2 races left in the regular season. Looking at this battle for 30th place in the points with Brandon Jones, he gained a little bit of ground there now as he is just below 20 points below that cut line of getting into the top 30 behind Todd Gilliland. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But as always, if you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this episode. And of course, I want to say a quick thank you to the Go One Racing members of MJ, Aiden, Joseph 9001, RJ, Timothy, Bubba Jr., Illinois Diecast, Brett Durward, Dark Gengar Gaming, AJ Vasur, as well as Movement. As I always mention, you guys help me out a lot, and I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one at Dover. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.